Hi everybody, my name is Hannah and this is Pepper and Pine, and today the kids and I are working on thank you cards. We're going to be using our Fabriano 90-pound watercolor paper. I'm using my Caterpillar Pro to cut it down just in half, and then we're going to fold these in order to make some card bases. We can also just trim down watercolor paper and do our watercolors and then adhere it to our card base, which we end up doing anyway in the end. I'm using a number of our Distress re-inkers. This is a concentrated ink that is used to re-ink ink pads, and we're going to be mixing it with a little bit of water. It's going to be a really nice, vibrant color. Okay, so we're starting with our card base, and I'm just going to put a little bit of Heidi Swapp Color Shine before I paint onto the cards. This is super simple, really easy. And I had these blues out here for this project, but my daughter ended up using a completely different set of colors, so hers turned out a little bit different. Okay, so here's one where I am not spraying it first. I am just putting the color onto the page. You can see how simple this is. And then I sprayed it afterwards. It looks really beautiful once it dries. It's actually really beautiful when it's wet as well. I'm going to trim these down because I didn't like how there was so much paint on the inside of the card bases. So I'm just going to trim them down and then cut a few more card bases and adhere it down using some foam tape, which is going to elevate that card front onto the card base. So same card base, just going to tape that down using some foam adhesive. Next, I'm going to head to my computer and use my Silhouette Cameo in order to cut out some sentiments as well as a moon. So this just says thank you, but you could put anything down. I've got two circles here, and I'm going to use a couple of tools in my Silhouette Cameo program in order to turn that into some crescents. It's super easy. If you don't want to do that, of course, you could go to the Silhouette Cameo store and buy whatever image you wanted. Okay, so I'm just going to fill the whole page because we want a lot of these. And then we're just going to remove it from the backing here. And we can just see that I made some hearts and some moons, and of course the ones that say thank you on there. So at this point, we want to adhere those down onto our card base, but they were kind of plain, so I decided to add something first. So I'm using my adhesive, my spray adhesive. You want to make sure that it's in a well-ventilated place before you use this. And I'm going to just transfer this to a plain card here so that when I put my glitter on it, it doesn't stick to my whole backing because now there's spray adhesive on my mat that I was working on. Okay, so I'm just going to remove those and dust off the extra and then put the extra back into the container so I could use it again. And now it's time to adhere that all down to our card front. Again, I'm going to be using some foam adhesive to elevate that moon, that little crescent at the bottom. But then I'm going to use my Tombow Mono adhesive in order to write out thank you, or to put glue on the back of thank you. And then that little heart is going to go on the back as just a little extra right on the back of the card base. This was a really fun, simple project. Of course, you could leave out the glitter and make this an even quicker project. I like how simple it is to do the watercoloring. Even a young child can do it, and it looks great in the end. I love incorporating these kinds of projects into our homeschool. It's a great handwriting, penmanship, and gratitude activity. The last thing my kids are going to do is just fill out these thank you cards. If you'd like to see some of the other projects we have done in our homeschool using our Distress inks, you can tap on the screen right now. If you want more information about how we did this project, you can find it on my website at pepperandpine.com. If you want to see how our homeschool is progressing on a daily basis, you can find me on Instagram at pepperandpine.